Hey you guys, what's up? This is the Anime Blaze coming to you with another video. And it's not the same video that you're usually used to. You see, I just got this new microphone and I need to test it out. So I figured, what better way to test it out than to do a first impressions video of the new English cast for the new anime show. Well, not exactly new, but for the anime show Shiki, which Funimation has decided to release in next month on the 29th of May. So you guys can check that out. Um, I'll leave links in the description, all that good stuff, so you guys can check it out for yourself. Um, just to give you guys not exactly a synopsis of the show, but I'm just gonna give you guys a very good, very good heads up. Shiki is definitely the show that you want to check out if you're looking for something horror or creepy looking, not creepy looking, but creepy feeling kind of way. Because there aren't too many anime shows out there. I mean, let's take a look. What, the first season of Higurashi and that's it? Season 2 barely hangs on to that whole feeling of the horror. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that gives you that whole creepy feeling and stuff like that, and you're looking for something that that just like hits you like dead, like literally dead, uh, like just hammers a stake into your heart, that's the kind of show that Shiki is. And just in case you guys didn't know, Shiki does involve vampires. Yeah, I know vampires, right? But here's the thing: Shiki takes vampires to a whole nother level and actually puts it into back into that horror kind of mindset that vampires started with. So you definitely need to check that out. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do is talk about my thoughts on the voice cast, and then I'm gonna move on to the individual voice actors themselves. All right. So um, the voice cast, like the voice acting in the show, like the English kind of thing, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like S class, freaking dog or anything like that, but it's decent. It's decent enough, and it makes a pass, and like really does a good job. And like cause I'm definitely one of those people who's kind of freaking out. I mean, I could care less if a series is subtitled or dubbed, but Shiki was definitely one of those shows where I was kind of like, hmm, I hope that they don't screw up the dub for this show. That sort of thing, or not really screw it up, but I like, or more on the thought of, I really wonder what kind of dub they're planning on doing for this show. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was very curious to see what kind of thing they were gonna do, and I'm very glad to see that they did top notch. Um, so yeah, uh, let's get started with these voice actors. The person who's playing one of the well, and here's another thing. Shiki doesn't exactly have a main character. It has like six or seven freaking main characters, but it alternates between each one, and alternates between characters and episodes. So you never know who the episode is going to be about. Uh, and the thing is, the show pretty much keeps you on the edge of your seat. So I hope they're able to do the same thing in the English dub. Um, yeah. Let's. The first person I want to talk to you guys about is the guy who's voicing Natsuno Yuki, and this guy's name is Jerry Jewell. And from looking at his portfolio, it looks like he's did a pretty good number of voice acting roles. He's voiced in Yu Yu Hakusho as Jin, Sakamoto, and Suzaku. Um, he's voiced in One Piece as Mary, Minchi, and Kaku. So for all you One Piece fans out there, check that out. Um, he's played in Claymore as Lig. Uh, he's played in Black Butler as uh, I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's Lu or Lau. I could be pronouncing that wrong because it's spelled Lau, but nobody's perfect. Um, Another role he's played is Claire Stanfield from Bakano. So Yeah, if you guys are familiar with those shows, definitely check it out. Um, he did a very good job of voicing Natsuno, and I definitely want to see behind the scenes. If not necessarily behind the scenes, I want to see some kind of interview or commentary of with voice actors of the show behind the scenes, like the last episode, like Funimation sometimes does. Next up, we got Toshio Ozaki being played by David Wald. And one thing I definitely want to say is that David Wald definitely did a good job of capturing the frustration and the anger that was that Toshio had in the Japanese dub. So if you're worried that they're gonna mess up the character and Toshio was like your favorite character from the show, no worries, he did a good job. Um, I definitely liked it, so hopefully you like it too. Um, and I'm gonna name off a few roles here. And Air Gear, he played Mitsuru Bando and Masaya Oriha. Oh no, Orihara. Please don't get mad at me. Uh, Next we got High School of the Dead. He played the gas station survivor in episode 4. If you guys are familiar with that, I know I am. That guy was crazy. He played Takuzo in episode 3 also, and he also provided additional voices. In Kiva, one of my favorite shows, he played Brian, Zucker, and Vender. And to name one last thing, he played Duke Golgo 13 Togo in Golgo 13. That's the name of the show. Um, he played Duke Golgo 13 Togo in the show Golgo 13. In case you guys didn't know, he did a good job. Next, we got Tsunako Kirishiki being played by um, Karami Lee or Karami Lei. I hope I said that right. But before I get into a few of her additional roles, I will definitely say that she definitely captured that feeling of the creepiness that Tsunako had. Uh, like what was it like the way in the Japanese dub that Tsunako didn't like it when people added san at the end of her name. And Toshi, not Toshio, but Seishin in the English dub is like, Miss. He's like, don't call me that. I hate being called Miss. And she really did emphasize that creepiness. I mean, it was just. I mean, the feeling of it was still there. Nothing changed. The scary feeling, or not scary feeling, but that creepy feeling was still there. So if you guys are worried if that you're gonna lose the creepiness of Tsunako or the innocence yet cuteness, the innocent, cute, yet seriously creepy and somewhat deprived of humanity, Tsunako, there's nothing to worry about. It's still there. If you don't believe me, you can check it out for yourself. Um, Next, we have some of the roles that she played. She played in Birdie the Mighty Deco. She played Natsumi Hayamiya. She played in there. Next, she played in Fairy Tale in the English dub. She played a major role. She played Lucy Hartfilia. So that I know that person too. I've watched Fairy Tale. Um, what else did she play? She played Himawari uh, Konogi in Holic. I've seen that show and I know who that is too. And to name off one last role, she also played in. I'm trying to name off a major character here. She played in Kaze no Stigma as Ayano Kanagi. I'm not too familiar with that show, but it's a major role from what I can tell. Um, Next up, we got Seishi Muroi being played by John Bergmeyer. I hope I said that right. Um, this guy has a good portfolio too. He played in Yu Yu Hakusho as Kurama. A lot of you guys know. I hope you guys know what Yu Yu Hakusho is. One of those very classic anime shows. Another role he played was in the Dragon Ball series or Dragon Ball Z. He played Tien Shinhan, or just Tien. I hope you guys know who that is. Um, Next, what else we have in here? Uh, he played in Bakuno. I know that show is pretty good from what I can tell, and a lot of people know what that show is. He played Elmer C. Albatross. Um, you know, I don't know too much about Bakuno, but my friend talks about it like all the time. So, you know. Next, for secondary characters, we have apparently. Well, I didn't even know these guys were secondary characters. I thought they were like main characters. But anyway, we have Megumi Shimizu being played by Tia Ballard, or Ballard. She plays. She looks pretty much like she's just starting out, but she looks fairly new into this whole voice acting thing, from what I can tell. But she does have a good number of roles here. She played in Summer Wars as Kana Junochi. She played in Shangri-La as Tomika Yamazaki, which, if I'm not mistaken, I've just started watching the show as well. I didn't even know that the show even had an English dub coming out. I was aware that Funimation had it, but I didn't know they actually started dubbing. Um, you know, so you guys want to check that out, you can. Next, we got D. Gray Man. She played Dama in episode 37, and Kadia or Kadia in episode 43. So definitely check that out. Next up, we have Toru Muto or Muto being played by Chris Burnett, and this guy's portfolio is fairly good too. Um, I will name off a major role right off the bat that he plays. He plays Romeo in Romeo X Juliet, and I think that he did a good job. If you guys haven't seen that show, I recommend you check it out and see his voice for yourself to get a kind of a background check kind of thing on it. What else we have? Itsurate My Santa. He played Santa. I've seen that show. Um, in D Gray Man, he played Eric in episode 32. And to name off one last role, he played Dr. Stein in Soul Eater. So yeah, uh, well, the young Dr. Stein anyway. So he still had pretty much, I guess, a major role. From what I can tell, he did a good job there. And I'll just name off one more. In Bakuno, he played Shaft from episodes 14 to 16. Um, who else we got here? Uh, Kaori Tanaka is being played by Alexis Tipton, and her roles are pretty much, I guess, fairly new. But yeah, in Darker Than Black, Gemini of the Meteor, she played Tanya. In Gaure Zero, she played Yomi uh, Isayama. And Kaze no Stigma, she played Mie Sugino. And to name off one last one, um, in Sekirei, she played Masubi and Yume. And I know a lot of people are probably familiar with that show. And one more, just one more. She played in Black Butler. She played Queen Victoria, the young version of her. So they made sure they put emphasis on that one. And just two more characters, and I'll be out of here. And next we have Lucy Christian, who is playing Akira Tanaka. The annoying kid, sort of in a way. She has been like, from what I can tell and from what I've seen, she has been in the whole voice acting business for a long, long time, and her list pretty much just keeps going on. Um, Let me name off a few roles here. In Xenosaga the animation, she played a major character, Cosmos. In Holic, she played Young Fox and Nudie. I've seen that show before, so I'm familiar with it. Um, in Soul Eater, she played a very major role, Medusa. In case you guys haven't seen that, well, hopefully you guys have seen it. Well, if you haven't, whatever. Um, in Sands of Destruction, she played Morte Ursula or Ursula. Uh, that's a major character. I'm familiar with that show. Um, huh. In Mad Black, she played Margaret Burton. Just to name off I'll just find one more major role. In Birdie the Mighty, she played Birdie herself, the main character of the show. Birdie Sephon Altura. So yeah, that takes care of her. And the last one is Tatsumi, who is being played by Ian Sinclair. And some of his roles that he has played were in Fairy Tail, he played Bora. In Bakuno, he played Dallas Geno Genord. But let's see. In Princess Jellyfish, he played Shu Koibuchi. And in the last one here, in Full Metal Alchemist, he played VM. So yeah, I haven't seen not Full Metal Alchemist, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So yeah, um, from what I can tell and from what I've heard from just hearing this dub for the show, I can probably say that Shiki is gonna be very very good. This is just from what I think. Just from seeing these first few voices for these characters, I think it's going to be pretty successful. We still haven't. I don't think we've heard the voices for Mr. Kiyoshiki and his wife, but I don't really. Well, they're somewhat important, but not really. And I'm just gonna say, if you guys don't like the dub, I mean, me personally, I'm not a picky chooser between dub or sub. I like both of them, and even if you don't like the dub and you still like the Shiki series, I still recommend you going and getting the DVDs. Pre-ordering, getting them, pre-ordering all that good stuff. And when they come in, you don't even have to watch the dub. You can switch it over to subtitled because it's because of companies like Funimation and like other companies and stuff that we even get anime in the U.S. altogether. So, I mean, yeah, support the stuff, support the anime that I like, you guys. I guess. So yeah, this is the Anime Blaze. Um, Ending this video right now. Uh, Asking you guys, what did you think about the Shiki dub? If you haven't seen it, I will be posting links in the description and maybe somewhere around in the video as well. Um, nah, not in the video. I'll put everything in the description. Um, so yeah, this is Anime Blaze signing out, saying Funimation has the English dub on both their website, YouTube, and Hulu. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.